Alright, Shaw's calling me out on my Sombra knowledge, so let's do this. Most of the time, when I see people trying to play Sombra, they try to play her almost like a different kind of tracer in that, okay, I've got my stealth, I've got my translocator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run into the back line, I'm going to try and assassinate the healers or something like that. Because that's what Tracer does. Sombra's not really built for that, and if you try to play Sombra like Tracer, you may as well just play Tracer. Sombra, it's really difficult for her to actually get those kills. Her escape isn't nearly as reliable as Tracer's, and she doesn't have the blink charges to dodge and weave and avoid fire. That's where Tracer shines. Sombra, if you try and run into the back line and try and kill someone, well, you're probably gonna die, or you're gonna have to escape without actually accomplishing your goal. The stealth isn't all that stealthy. You can't play her like the spy from TF2. If you're going to play Sombra effectively, you need to change and tweak the way you look at her kit. The way I see it, Sombra has two distinct phases of how you want to play her, and I call that the ult building phase and the team fight phase. So we're going to take those one by one. The first one is the ult building phase. The key here is you can build Sombra's ult really, really fast if you do it properly. What you want to do, first of all, you want to hack a health pack, put your translocator on, and then stealth into the backline. You're you're not really ever going to be hacking enemies, except for just a couple really, really rare instances where you see, okay, this Reinhardt's taking a bunch of damage. I can help my team by hacking him. But usually, when you're building ult, you're just hacking health packs. Put your translocator down, run to the back line, and just deal a whole bunch of damage. I would recommend shooting at Reinhardt, Winston, Roadhog, the bigger tanks so that you can minimize the effect of her spread. But your job is to get in there, shoot a whole bunch, and then you're going to take some damage, and then you translocate back out to the health pack. If you do this properly, you should get 30 to 35% of your ult every time you go in. Your job is not to get a kill. I want to emphasize that. Your job is not to get a kill, your job is to deal damage and take damage so that you can build your ult faster. If you do this properly, you should be able to build your ult within 40 to 45 seconds of the game starting. Even faster if your team is helping you by picking up your hacked health packs. The most important thing is to not die. And that's really the best advice I can give you for all of Overwatch in general is don't die. It sounds super simple, but play safe. If you think, oh, I'm in danger of dying here, like say you're fighting a Junkrat and you're below 120 health, you need to get out of there because you're probably going to get hit and you're probably going to die. I usually try to stay, I usually try to translocate out once I'm below 100 health. Obviously, the closer to death you are, the more health you're going to heal from the health pack and the more ult charge you're going to get, but it's much better to play it safe. Don't die. Make sure you're getting out, make sure you're healing, make sure that you're building your ult as fast as possible. Now, once you have your ult, then you switch over to the team fight phase. You want to tell your team, hey, I have ult, I'm ready to engage, and you're going to start the fight by EMPing as many people as possible. You want to get at least 4 people in that ult. Um, if you get fewer than that, it's not the end of the world, but it's not going to be nearly as effective. If you can get most of the team in that, then your team should be able to come in, wipe them out, and they won't really have any defenses against it. When you're not building your ult, when you're in the middle of that team fight, your job as the Sombra player is to stay kind of on the periphery. You want to stay on the edges of the fight and be spamming in. Sombra may not be able to get very many kills on her own, but if you're firing into a crowd, if you see, oh hey, this person's low, start shooting at them, they're probably going to die. You should be able to pick up a lot of eliminations. They may not be solo kills, but that doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a team fight. And the best part is they're probably not going to focus you. Unless you've just really been taking off somebody and they're tilted, they're more likely going to shoot at the Reinhardt or the Ana, and for the most part, leave Sombra alone. So you should be able to hang around on the edges of the fight and pick off enemy players as they start getting low. or even just taking them down by yourself because they're not going to turn around and notice you. The other thing is, while you're in the team fight phase, you're going to want to be hacking enemy players. And there's a hierarchy, there's a list, a tier list of like what your prime targets are to hack. The ones that you want to hack on site would be Reinhardt, Diva, and Mercy. Reinhardt, obviously, because you're going to take out all of his defensive options, and he goes from a major defensive unit for his team to just a big stack of ult for your teammates. Diva, same thing. If you hack her, she can't fly away, she can't defense matrix, and she can't save herself with a self-destruct if you take her out of mech. And then Mercy, if you hack Mercy, not only can she not res her team, but she also has basically no movement options. She can't fly to teams. She goes from being really slippery to not slippery at all. And she's really easy to take out after you hack her. So if you see either of those three, hack on site. The second list, the B tier list, would be Reaper, Mei, Genji, Tracer, and Primal Rage Winston. These people, like, they're really good to hack. Some of them, like, if you can get a hack on Tracer, she's dead. It's hard to do because she's going to be dashing around and shooting, but if you can hack her, she's dead. Ulting Winston goes from a major distraction and hampering of your own team to, again, a giant sack of ult for everybody. He can't jump around, he can't get to people that he's knocking away. He's not a problem. Genji can't dash, can't deflect. All of a sudden he loses a lot of his defensive and offensive tools. Mei and Reaper, they can't go invulnerable. And they rely on that. Mei relies on being able to ice block. Reaper relies on being able to wraith form. If they can't do that, well, they're dead. C list, people that, like, it might be okay to hack every once in a while, but usually you want to save it for one of the A or B tier, would be Zenyatta, Lucio, Sombra, Zarya, and Pharah. It hampers their abilities, and it can't. If there's nobody else around, you may as well. But kind of discretionary. It helps, but it's not like it's a game changer. And then people that you generally just don't want to bother hacking would be Symmetra, Ana, Roadhog, Winston, McCree, Soldier, Junkrat, the defense heroes. Roadhog, Ana, and Winston, you might disagree with me on. With Ana, she's got amazing abilities, but they're on a decent cooldown. You might hack her, and she's like, well, okay, all of my abilities were on cooldown anyway, so what was the point? Generally, I would say just have everyone focus fire and shoot her. With Roadhog and Winston, yes, their abilities are pretty good, but again, you're basically just putting them on cooldown, and that's already not that big of a deal. Roadhog, you may say, oh, well, you can stop his ult. If he's ulting and he's not shooting at you, shoot him. Just shoot him. You're going to deal so much damage. He's moving slow, and he's a big enough target that your spread isn't going to be an issue. You'll just shoot him. You'll probably do better than if you try and hack him. Winston's basically the same thing. It's like, yeah, you'll take away his escape options, but you should just shoot him. And then the defense heroes, generally their abilities aren't that important. Again, the most important thing that I can say about this is just stay alive. Because if you're staying alive, then that means you're dealing damage, you're disabling important targets for your team. Hopefully they won't be focusing you, but if they do focus you, just throw your translocator and get away. Hack a health pack or two. But that's the main thing is build your ult. Don't try and get kills, build your ult. Use it to engage a team fight. And then once you're in the team fight, stay on the edges, call out when people get low, call out focus fire, and just finish off kills as much as you possibly can. Hack enemies to make them easier to kill for your teammates, but that's really all there is to it. And if you can do that effectively, if you can get your team to work with you, you can do some really awesome stuff.
Be in there. Do it. There we go. Beautiful.
Emote. Behind us. Emote.